business. And that's the heart of a lifestyle brand, is that you get to be who you are. You get to create your own products that transformed your life so you can give that back to other people.
Welcome to the Women in Podcasting Show. Enjoy inspiring stories, interesting interviews, and powerful strategies from women around the world. Jennifer Hensel spotlights today's top podcasters, new podcasters, and expert guests. Get tips for leveling up your life, gaining visibility, growing your business, monetizing your podcast, and so much more. We invite you to support women in finding their voice and sharing their passion. It's all about women empowering women.
Welcome, everyone, to the Women in Podcasting Show. This is Jennifer Hensel. I'm your host. I have a very special guest with me today. Welcome, Colleen Gallagher.
Hello, Jennifer. I'm super excited to be here, and I'm so honored and thrilled to be connecting with your community.
Oh, wonderful. Well, Colleen and I connected through PodFest. We're both very excited about PodFest. It's very community oriented. And so we connected through that. Colleen's doing a keynote session there. And so, if you're coming to PodFest, check that out. I'm running the Women in Podcasting track. The podcasting community in general is so beautiful, don't you think, Colleen?
I do. I mean, I love it. I've just had my 2-year anniversary. So it's kind of crazy because we've kind of grown really big, but I do love it. Everyone I meet is always so genuine, so just sincere in whatever their niche is. And genuinely just want to have authentic, deep conversations that people can feel like they're not alone in this world. And that's what I think makes it so amazing.
Yes. And you and I have connected on so many things align. And what I'm so excited about is we haven't had anyone on the show yet talk about creating a lifestyle brand, this stream of income for your podcast that you can create merchandise and different things. And you're going to talk about that and give some tips around that. But first, let's start with your entrepreneurial and podcast journey. Tell us about you and your podcast and your business.
Yeah. So my name is Colleen, obviously, and I was born in Michigan. And I had a really normal upbringing, but at the age of 14, I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. And that really forever changed my life because I began to see a lot of people who had health issues and they never really lived the life that they want. Right. And I was exposed to this at a very young age where you can't really cognitively understand what's happening, but these memories, right, live within your body, live within your psyche, live within your subconscious. And so I really suffered for around 9 years from about 14 to 23 in my life, where I just didn't know what I was going to do. I just felt so anxious. I felt so unhappy. I felt like I always wanted more. I felt like I wasn't meeting the right people to connect with, and I wasn't in the right rooms. It was just, but you were making great money. And I don't know, it was just so frustrating because you had this energy in you that wasn't being applied in life the way you wanted it. And so I quit my job earning 6 figures, and I moved across the world at 23 to New Zealand. And this is where I began to change my life. And I began to study the subconscious mind and holistic healing and Eastern medicine and just Tantra, podcasting, digital marketing, new age spirituality, all these things that basically was oh my God, there's more people out there like me, oh my God. And so I started my online education and coaching company, Colleen Gallagher International, in 2018. And then 25 online courses later, 3 books later, a master's, getting my PhD, a podcast, 7 products. We're working on 2 more products. Well, 6 more products. And it just is incredible. So that's kind of been my journey in 4 years, but it really started at 14.
Wow. What a story. Isn't that amazing? What you came from and now what you're doing now to help others.
Yeah.
And that's just incredible. So can you give us some tips then? You've created this lifestyle brand with all of these items that you sell, products, so physical products.
Yep.
And to do with your topic. Can you tell us about that? Can you give us any tips around creating a lifestyle brand and selling products through your podcast?
Yeah. So what I think is really important what I love about podcasting, the way that I've leveraged it is my money, right? Or the bulk of my revenue comes from my online courses, right? But I built my podcast as a free lead generation, knowing that in the year that we just had our 2nd year anniversary, but we have over 100 episodes. And I know we're a top 1,000 global health and wellness podcast. And I think we're just under like 10,000 downloads or something. I have no idea how the stats work, but like we have a lot of listeners that listen the whole way through, I think, and it's a really solid community. And so I've used it intentionally to talk every week about whatever was on my heart and minds. At the end of each episode, I would upsell into whatever I was selling at that time. And even if I'm not running that course live, there's a link there that you can still get it as a self-study option. So now I have this podcast that's always working for me around the clock for people to know me, build trust with me, listen to me while I'm sleeping, creating, doing my PhD, doing whatever. And then that's where you have, like, if they wouldn't want to do like a full on course, which is a few hundred or a few $1,000s, up to $30,000, $50,000 if you're like, depending on how far you go. But the first is like that, which is free. Then you can go to my products. Now my products are under $100 of now. There might be one that's 111, the healing package, but that's a few products combined together. But so that's like the next little one. And then you would go to the next step. So I've really built like a brand ecosystem where people can tune in to me, which is my podcast, the Colleen Gallagher Podcast, tune in to receive the frequency, tune in to receive a frequency. And then they can navigate where they want to go and take charge of their own educational life experience. And that's the heart of a lifestyle brand, is that you get to be who you are. You get to create your own products that transformed your life so you can give that back to other people.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Everything you're saying is just amazing. I love the funnel you've created. And, sometimes the word funnel gets a bad rap. It's the F word, right? But the thing is, you've shown how you can automate parts of that. So then you have freed up your time to actually do what you're passionate about and to live your purpose. So that is incredible. I love it. The funnel is just a path of how your customer moves through your business. And so when you are crystal clear about it, like you just demonstrated, that's when you can start to monetize and really see the difference in your income, right? So Colleen, could you tell us, what are the products? Tell us your different products, just so people have an idea.
Yep. So my first book is called Live Your Truth, Start Your Journey to Freedom and Healing. And that was really how I overcame cancer. And it was really how I set my mind free, because I suffered a lot, because I felt like I saw other children die and I didn't. And I saw like I didn't have to go through money issues with the parents I was born through, but I saw many families suffer with that. Right. And you don't really get that, but it as a child, your mind warps because you don't understand like how to manage people, right? Or like where they lie, right? You kind of think everything's happening to you or through you or whatever. So that was something that was really big. And that book is really how I finally liberated myself. My second book is called The Future for Rohingyas Education. If you're into refugees and technology, I share a framework of how would we educate refugees and displaced people so they could be sustainable humans in certain economies. My third book is called An Uncompromised Life, which is Overcome Heartbreak and Trauma, Experience the Unexplainable, and Truly Fall in Love. And that was the next one of overcoming my long-term diagnosis of my cancer. And how do we navigate our stories that we tell ourselves? So that's that. I have a crystalline. So we have a rose quartz. It's a crystalline, and also amethyst. So it's a heart opener and also for grounding. And you can go on my website and get those. We have a healing package.
Sorry about that. So those are stones?
Yeah. So like this, I know that there's like the stone right here. It's like this. It's like a stone that you can get, and it's like, rose quartz is for your heart. And so when I actually moved across the world to New Zealand, the first time I was ever introduced to crystals, I went into a crystal shop and I said, what do I get? And she said, you need to love yourself more, self-love. And I was at 23, and it was my first crystal I ever bought. And I got a rose oil. And little do you know that every present moment is creating your future. But my third book, which really birthed the crystalline, that moment basically created my future. And I talk about that in that third book. So basically that's a way for me to give it back to any of you who are struggling with feeling happy and fulfilled, because I've been all over the world, 42 countries. And I tried to put myself in this case study to find out that love would always win. And I really did a study on my own life in a way. And that crystal just really represents that it's always here within you right now. And so anyway, that's on my website, and that's one that you can go and get. We have these oracle decks. I should show. This is like for if you want to understand bridging spirituality and business. They're these magical creatures and they have like affirmations on them that will just tell you like things about business and mindset and adventure and creating a lifestyle brand. So it's like, just like you pick one in the morning, then you like a mantra, like repeat it to yourself. And these are things that really transform my life.
Were those cards? Was that a card deck you just
Yeah, I drew them. I hand drew every single one of them. And then you can get them on Amazon or my website.
Oh my goodness. If you're listening on the podcast, go to the video at womeninpodcasting.show because you got to see the artwork on this product. It is absolutely gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. So there's cards in there and you can draw them each day for inspiration.
Yeah, I can. Here, I'll draw one for the podcast. I can draw one for whoever, all of us listening, and we'll see what the message is.
Can you do one for me? Can you do one for me?
Yeah, of course. I'll do one for you and I'll do one for all the listeners. So
nice.
Let's see here. We'll do one for Jennifer.
I love it.
Let's see here. All right. So this one's for Jennifer and this one is for the podcast. So let's open them.
Are you intuitive?
I am. I'm intuitive.
So this is going to be a magical message for me.
It will. So you got Morita. This is her. You don't know if you can see, but anyway, it's the heart's in the center. So your heart is being asked to be open and become free. And I'll read it to you. But when you guys read or get these, you're not on the video, there's 13 layers of design work on the back before the creature, which speaks to your subconscious mind. So it was done with like sacred geometry with this to like then redo neural pathways in your mind.
Wow.
So yours it says, you are the creator and designer of your mind. Your mind and heart in union create every detail of your reality around you. Start creating and acting from a mindset that will allow you to be free. And so for yours, it's really saying like your heart is asking to be open. You're doing a lot of like your creation or a lot of your relationshiping from your mind. Like logically, if I do this thing, then this will be the result. And this card is like reminding you to like breathe and tap into your heart. And then from that place, begin to communicate and begin to act. Because the results are 20x more powerful when it's from that place than just the mind.
Wow. 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 Do you know, I've had other people tell me that, and that is my stumbling stone is working too much from my mind. And I have to breathe and meditate and all these things to get to my heart. So, wow, that was cool. Card.
And there's 52 cards in the deck. So so then the other one that's for this podcast. So this is purple. I'll tell you, this was mindset. This is, impact. So this is for everyone listening through this. It's called Talia. It has 3 heads and 2 hearts. So it means that when you're listening to this, you're being asked to step more into a mind, body, soul operating system instead of just a mind operating system. And what I mean by that, a mind operating system would be, okay, I have to wake up at 9 a.m. and be back by 5 p.m. Here's all the things that I need to do in that. A mind, body, soul model will go, okay, I can meditate, I can breathe, I can pray, I can journal, I can go enjoy my life, and I can connect with something greater, whatever you want to call it, universe, cosmos, God, and say, hey, please allow this to happen. Please allow a new client to end up in my email, a new opportunity to whatever. Please allow someone to tag me on social media. Whatever that it is, allow that to happen so that the results that I want can be forth. Like that's the mind, body, soul. You're not actually having to do physical work for it to be done. Wow. So this is what each of you listening, it says, remember to always dream bigger because you are here to complete a huge mission beyond what your mind could ever imagine in this moment. And so that's why it has the 2 hearts and the 3 heads. So anyway, that's one of my other products at Amazon or that.
Wow.
And then we have a coin. It's like, actually they're over there, but it's kind of hard. So there's like a coin and it has a unicorn and a dragon on it that I hand drew. And there's a river going through it. And this same castle is on the other side of the coin.
Oh, wow. Are they in reach?
Yeah, I can get it. Hold on.
I want to see it.
Yeah, of course. All right. So there's 2 parts of them. There's one that is like this. So here it is. And then this is the back. And this is good just to have like by your computer where you're working. I have one in my wallet. One of my mentors, she has it like under where she puts like her water. She has it so it like infuses her water, but it's just to activate abundance and mysticism and just miracles in your life. And so we have one like this and then one that's just gold. So without color. If you didn't want this color, it's like just the outline of these. So there's that product, the crystals, the oracle deck, the books. These are in the making right now. My heart sunglasses. So we have these are in the works for my first book. And then we have a fragrance. to a candle and essential oils.
Oh, nice.
So those are products that we have that are all being worked on.
That's amazing. So it's a really good example. I mean, you really are a case study of what someone can do with their topic and their niche. I mean, this is incredible. Well done.
Yeah. And I think like the other thing that I think is important, like when like looking at me and people can say like, oh, well, how did you do that? Like, you know, I kind of looked like what I said, I looked at my past and I looked at like, how did I change my own life? And I began to look at like, okay, there was that crystal. I remember vividly. And I remember when I lived in Italy, Palermo, and there was this Italian guy, he had a party and he had me over. And I remember I just felt like this deep, profound, like he was like, I never dated him, never hooked up with him, like anything, but I just felt a really deep resonance with him. Like I remember like there was a photo, like we were all dancing, having fun. And there was a photo of me afterwards, like the first time you looked in my eyes and you could like see the presence of me in a photo, not like just in whatever. And I gave him that rose quartz crystal and I gave it as like a token of like self-love in a way, like what I experienced. And so right, I started remembering these things like, okay, well, that's the obvious. I went through so much pain. The next thing that needs to happen is a rose quartz crystal line, the Crystella line, which is through my third book. And, you know, my first book, Live Your Truth, on the cover, it's these sunglasses. So now we're doing these, of course, that's like the next step. Fragrance is really big to me and essential oil. So it's just like, I looked at what I did to heal my own life. And that's what a lifestyle brand is, what you've done to solve your own solutions. And then basically creating it under your name. And it does take longer. It might, you know, I mean, I didn't have like extra funding. I don't have investors. Like it's all from my digital marketing and my courses that I've created, saved, put back into the business. We do have like some grants we're applying for now and things like that for some of the fragrances and different things. It's like multiple six figures to like be able to do these things, but it's more complicated, but it still is like, I'm still selling and doing it and self-funding on my own. And I think that's really important. And the podcast is always going to be going for me. It's 2 years old and I can't even tell you how many messages we get all the time of people like, oh my God, or I meet people on planes on this, they subscribe and then they find me. Like, it's just such a beautiful extension of you. So people don't meet you and they're like, oh, that sucks. I'm never going to find her again or run into her again. But it's like, no, I can actually be right in your house right next to you.
Oh, that's so amazing. So beautiful. What a wonderful journey and how you're helping other people. And so back, you know, that brings us full circle back to the community aspect. That's how we met, is through PodFest, that beautiful community and the podcasting community in general. Now, so you're going to be speaking at PodFest. You're going to be a keynote there. What is your session that you're teaching there? What is the name of it?
Yeah. So I'm going to be talking on Sunday on audience growth at 11:30. It's called How to Create Lifetime Customer Connections Through Your Podcast.
Oh, that's great. So anybody who's listening, who's going to be at PodFest, make sure to get to that session with Colleen Gallagher. And I'm so excited to meet you live and in person next month.
Yes, we're almost there.
Yes. Oh, so wonderful. Well, thanks so much for joining us on the show here. And if you want to connect with Colleen, I'll have all the links in the show notes at womeninpodcasting.show. Thanks, Colleen. We'll see you soon, I guess. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to today's interview. We'd love your follows, subscribes, and positive reviews. They help us to elevate women's voices everywhere. I invite you to join our community in the Women in Podcasting Facebook group and VIP club at womeninpodcasting.club.